But he goes,
Mila's
I
just
think.
grinning.
He goes, all right. He goes, I think your friends are expecting us back into the boardroom. So,
Okay.
I, all right. So sure enough, you see Perrin and Mila and Sasha come back, and Perrin looks much more relaxed at this point, and he says,
Patrick is looking at the dog to see if there's any blood.
No, no blood on Sasha." But he goes, "All right. What have you decided as far as payment goes?"
Well, I'm gonna be as plain as possible.
Mhm.
We like the idea of giving it to you to hold and have you sell it individually and do a profit sharing deal.
Okay.
We like that. We plan on coming back here with the show periodically, so that all works out fine.
Hmm.
The only issue we have is we do have a bit of a shopping list, some needs we have that we need to get fulfilled that might require some cash up front. However, there might be another solution to that that wouldn't require this. We also have with us, in addition to the gems and the dragon skull, a, well, I hesitate to say intact
Oh yeah, it's intact.
hide. Well, maybe not the undersection.
No,
Uh,
that's intact.
oh, well, we have a hide of a, was it a fire beetle?
Fury.
No,
Fury
Fury.
beetle. Of a fury beetle, which I hear is actually worth quite a bit on the market these days that you might want to might be interested in too.
Oh, so all right. He goes, yeah. A lot of the scouts and side stalkers and other such people like to turn that into body armor itself. Um, so yeah, there can be some prices there. He says if you're willing to sell the dragon skull and the whereabouts of the uh, the rest of the dragon's bones, the rest of the skeleton. Um, well, let's not get too hard ourselves. What's your shopping list?
We're not 100% sure yet.
Well, give me a ballpark. Well, give me a ballpark. What do you want? What do you need?
Again, honestly, let me put it this way. I'll tell you some things we're thinking about getting. Some of us are thinking about getting some cybernetic enhancements from the good doctor who's come by. Um, Given the dangers of the world that I have been noticing of late, I wouldn't mind perhaps having a good suit of power armor as
Mm-hmm.
a backup.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
He's just nodding his head and saying each time you say, "Keep going."
Anything else? Anyone else has been
I need
thinking
to
of?
get a scabbard made.
Yes, a scabbard for sword.
Oh,
We
scabbard,
need
okay.
we need a little outfit for Jackie.
We
Yes,
don't
yes, we
need
need
an
that.
outfit for.
Who's still in her
Okay.
box on the floor, by the way?
No, I picked up the box. I picked up the box. I picked up the
Okay,
box.
all right, yeah, that's right.
Okay, never
No,
mind.
no, you picked up the
That
box.
didn't
Okay,
matter.
all right,
Okay, wait,
all right.
maybe it did. I don't know
I always
anymore.
keep going. All right, the scabbard, a Jackie suit. Okay, all right.
Um, and then unless anyone else, and then maybe just other things for necessities. But let's say that's the gist of it.
Okay. Goes, let's say that's the gist of it. Uh, I'm a pretty poor trader for showing my hand, but I'm going to assure you that you're going to be able to pay for all that, no problem. He says, not even touching the gems. He's like, you could not sell me a single gem, and I'll tell you right now, with everything else that you've brought to the table, the Fury Beetle thing, the Dragon Skull, coordinations of other things. Like I said, I don't really know a whole lot about magic, but I'm gonna just tell you right now, you're not gonna have a problem with that shopping list.
I like you.
I was
He
like,
goes,
I told you, Al.
And because I like
goes-
you, I will give you this for free.
Mhm.
Because I know how much you value information as well.
Mm,
Um, I know that keeping a low profile is of utmost importance to you. So take
Very
this for what you want, or for what you will, or what you need. We
Mm.
came into contact with the Coalition Dogboy Squad.
Hmm.
Not more than, in front of, what was it, like 3 days, 4 days from the,
So, yeah, it was a 3-4 day travel away.
not more than 3 or 4 days travel from your post. Now, it could mean absolutely nothing, but it certainly means that the coalition is at least scouting past territory they don't usually. I mean, I believe now. Okay, in front of, so out of character. If I am correct that this is technically coalition territory, but they don't have the
Mm,
manpower to really enforce it, or.
it's not actually Michigan, the old what was known as Michigan.
Hmm.
None of it's coalition territory. They don't even stake claim for it, right?
Okay, right. If
But sorry, go ahead.
but if I remember correctly, running into the coalition dogpack boy is not something you would expect in that area normally. Not from a coalition. Um,
This is okay.
Mhm.
Here, well, we can resolve this real quick. When you
Mhm.
say coalition scout, Perrin says, "Oh yes, that's right. We did have ourselves a bit of agreement as well that I would be providing you monthly updates. Although I haven't been able to get everything together, and I can give you the full report soon enough. Yes, there are long-range coalition patrols in the area. They are unfortunately relatively common, but they typically are pretty scattered. What was the makeup of that patrol that you're talking about?
It was, and I would give very technical terms. A
Okay.
sergeant plus, this many dog boys of this
Hmm.
variety, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. Okay.
And they
All right.
gave me bracelets.
Also,
Oh.
um, also, while I
Seriously,
don't
okay.
think this would blow back on you at all, they may want Mila and Tom for their abilities.
Oh, most
Hi.
definitely. Most definitely. You'll have to tread carefully, unfortunately.
But
But
no, my concern is that they know what direction we were heading. I don't want any of that to blow back on you.
he
We were
says,
still far enough away that there's no reason why they should know we came here, but
mhm.
the direction might be enough sometimes.
All right, I'll be equally frank with you because I like you folks as well, he says with a smile. Did you attack this coalition group? This
No,
scouting group? You didn't
I
kill any
held
of
your
them?
hand. What
no,
the-
none of them were harmed.
Okay. He says, "Don't worry so much about the coalition. We're away. I'm a very rich man, but I run a relatively small trading post. It's no actual town itself. Right now, our blacksmith, it's called Ash and Ash Smithing. Both of them are ex-coalition state dog boys. If they can live here prosperously without the coalition influence, you won't have much of a problem. If they're just reconnaissance patrols, that's all it is. I don't expect the coalition to come storming down the gates because their patrols tracked a few psychic individuals. But thank you for your concern. And I don't want to rock the boat when it comes to the coalition, which is why I'm very grateful for your help previously with the whole Skelebot situation.
By the way, do you know what happened to the previous employee? He wasn't by any means a genius, but I hope his well-being is okay.
He goes, I can't really say either way. About 5 days ago, I was told by the replacement. I know there were no foul play. He was staying at the Goldsmith Inn, and from what I've heard, he packed his bags and left, all in one piece. And by the time he got out the gates, that was pretty much it. He headed south on a motorcycle.
Fair enough. I know that sometimes things can end less amicably. I just hope that
Well,
he's
that's
well.
the tricky thing, actually. I don't know. I know very, very little about CyberWorks Incorporated. In fact, a lot of people know very little about CyberWorks Incorporated. We don't even know where they manufacture out of. Apparently, it's out west, but we don't know. But we'll see. There's a new lady in charge, and she's been quite the
Oh, she's
challenge.
just a ray of sunshine.
Oh, she is, but she's one hell of a barterer. It's gonna be interesting, he says with a little smile on his face. Anyway, we're digressing. Yes, suffice to say, thank you very much for the information. It's always good to know where possible threats are, and hopefully I'll be able to give you some help as well. But like I said, as far as your wants go, you shouldn't have too much of a problem with what Ari you brought at the table. So, back to the gems, the jewels, the rings and necklace, and other such jewelry. Um, so am I correct in assuming that you want to go by the shared profit situation where I hold on to the gems, sell it individually, so to speak, and share the profit with you?
Yes. That sounds like the best option.
Okay. Excellent, excellent. Of course, I can't tell you exactly how much, but of course, we'll keep it here, at my place for safekeeping. And once my friend arrives, we'll also make sure we keep the skull here for safekeeping as well. And with that, it's been quite a bit of a while actually with this whole negotiation and with the Sasha incident. So sure enough, you Utku, the mage, comes back in, and the first thing he asks is, "So I measured the skull, and from my estimations, the dragon was at least 40 feet long. Is that correct?"
I would probably know the measurements of that.
Oh yeah, you measured the fuck out of that when you
Yeah.
got it. So
Then I
yeah,
would
you
give
can tell
him
me.
the exact length, whatever it may be.
All right. Do you mind if we go over the data together? Actually, he goes over to Patrick. I'm very very curious as to the exact anatomy of the skull, and because I know you took a lot of notes, right? So do you share the notes with him?
Um, yes, if it has to do, yes.
Okay.
I think I'd be very open and honest with
Okay.
him.
All right. So he goes through the notes for a few minutes, and he doesn't. He has a very very strong poker face, and he looks at it and says, Dan. And interestingly enough, he's one of the few people who actually refers to Perrin or Finger by his first name. He goes, Dan, I think we should probably have a chat just privately real quick. And once again, they leave and they have another little conversation. And Perrin comes back and he says, so, let's lump this all together, shall we? The skull and the location. Now, we've done some dealings before. I don't think you ripped me off, and I don't think you would just find this dragon skull lying around anywhere. Assuming your data is correct, let's just lump everything together, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Name your price, he says with a smile.
This
You can
entire
prefer
town.
Oh, God.
No, go a little lower than that.
2 million.
That's a bit low.
Let's see here. I want to see what skills. There must be some sort of skill. There's not really like read intention, but there's got to be something here. Let me go over your character sheets real quick.
I'm sitting there thinking, like, what should I say, like 5 million? Is that absurd? I don't know.
You should have gone with
I wouldn't
10.
know.
Oh, you know what? This is what we'll do. You have a very knowledgeable person in your group, which is when it comes to stuff like this, which is Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Patrick doesn't know the fucking market value of dragon bones, he does know he does have some idea of the application of it and the value of it, right? So why don't you give me a monster and demon lore check, Patrick? And the success of that, I'll let you know. I'll give you a ballpark, okay? Okay, what's your skill?
It is 59.
Okay, so you missed it. So, what you do know is that, so I can't give you, since you failed, I can't give you exact price ballpark, but I'm going to tell you what it is for, because you would know this. A ton of magic rituals use ground up dragon bone, and they only typically require an ounce. And the ounce is seen as a very valuable component. In addition, many specific rituals require dragon teeth as well. In addition, the very concept of owning a piece of a great worm even for bragging rights, can be worth a lot of money to certain people, certain rough and tumble people. How can I say this without giving this away? Because, okay. So you say 2 million, right?
Well,
No.
yeah,
You
yeah,
said 2
yeah,
million.
yeah, I did.
And Perrin says, if I were 15 years younger, I would give you 2 million with a smile. But I'm older now. I'm richer now. And I think you folks and I have a good relationship. He goes, you don't want to offer 2 million.
That's what I was saying.
All right, Patrick.
3 million.
No, Mila.
No, oh,
No.
like, almost like pets Mila's head. It's okay. Shh, shh, shh.
Perrin says, okay, tell you what. You're obviously out of your element. Like you said, you're adventurers. And as much fun as I'm having, let's not go into the millions and millions, because then eventually we get into a concept, 10 million, 15 million, 50 million. What can really that do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's think hard goods. Let's think, what do you want to do? If you had this money, what did you want to buy for it? And what does Parent Post have to offer you? Frankly, I could probably ship in almost anything. But you were talking about power armor, right? I'll tell you right now, we do have power armor for sale. We have robots for sale. We have a plethora of weapons. We have, of course, supplies and everything like that. But we have to think big, right? Big vehicles, big robots.
I roll to see if I know of the giant ass Goliath freaking like remember
big-
you showed me way back?
Oh, the Behemoth?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, do you want me to show that to you again?
Yes, if you could put it up in front of everyone.
Sure. Give me a moment. Yeah, because when you said you want to be a rogue, I'm like, you know what? This would be a really cool vehicle for a robot. And I have to copy past this somewhere, so just give me a moment. This will take a little bit longer.
No problem. I would love to see the other people in this to know exactly which vehicle.
What the heck you're talking about? Yeah, sure. Just a second. I just have to get to my. I'm just thinking of it and what it is, and I'm like, oh wow.
I have just Googled it. What am I looking at?
You'll
You're
see.
looking at the Behemoth.
Here, where this is all kind of out of character. This is all out of character, kind
Yeah.
of. But I'll explain to you all what this is, because Piff's character would know what this thing is. It is
yeah.
not the most common thing in the world, but it is something. All right.
Hey,
so
hey,
now
hey,
I have to
a
go
full-
to paint.
A full dragon skeleton is not a common thing in the world either.
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there.
Oh, actually, you know what? Here, why don't you just share that link then? Wait, yeah, share that link, Vern, please.
In Skype?
Either way, Skype or Roll20.
Wherever, we'll be opening it up anyway.
Boom, and I will give it to Piff 0.
No, that's not it. That is not it. No.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm still gonna show everyone.
I can already tell you that is too small.
Yeah,
What?
it's this. Just a second.
Sadly, though, where would we store a robot? Because I can use one. In fact,
You would.
Well, it's something this big. It's not where can you store it. It's what
Oh,
can
God.
you store inside of it.
Oh.
This is a
Oh.
behemoth.
That's
That-
a
It
mansion.
is an unusual robot vehicle. Is the massive Behemoth Explorer, another pre-Rift survivor, currently being manufactured by Cyberworks and Northern Gun, so it's available. kind of, so to speak. There's not one lying around out there, but Perrin could get one for you. The giant robot is a scientific laboratory and house trailer on legs. Typically, the Behemoth will have a laboratory divided into 3 separate sections, 10 separate living quarters that can accommodate 30 to 40 people comfortably, or 80 cramped. A communal dining / lounge / observation area, the glass enclosure that's on top. The storage bay can hold 4 small vehicles like hovercycles and half a dozen suits of power armor with room to spare. The pilot and crew compartment is located in the center protrusions on the nose of the robot between the 2 huge searchlights. Let's see here. What else? The arms are designed for investigation as well as suited for grasping. A pair of smaller retractable arms are also housed in the forearms. The robot is used for expeditions, usually sponsored by wealthy kingdoms to explore the wilderness. The Behemoth only has a mini missile launcher on the side of each arm as means of protection. Sometimes railguns and laser turrets are added by energetic organizations, but too many are a waste of time and resources. The Behemoth Explorer is not really suited for combat, but it is, it is 60 feet tall. It is 20 feet wide. It is 82 feet long. It weighs 1,563 tons. It has a 50. Oh my god! It has a 200-ton limit for storage.
I want that.
So it's like literally like a house trailer on legs. Like it's like a house and lab on just legs. You just walk through it.
Out of curiosity, how
Yeah.
rare are these things?
Not.
Are they common? Like, if you saw one, would it really draw attention?
No. Not compared to a lot of the other robotic vehicles that are kicking around.
Would it be similar
obviously-
to, like, in real life seeing, like, a helicopter fly by or something like that?
Yeah, actually that's a really good comparison, Piff. You don't see a helicopter every single day, but when you see one, you go like, oh, look, it's a helicopter. And not everyone owns a freaking helicopter. Typically, a personal helicopter is only, owned by the rich and powerful. And so, like in the description, wealthy kingdoms and that type of stuff. So, it's not, no one's gonna be like, holy shit, what the fuck is that thing? They'll be like, oh, that's a really big robot.
My character would.
Well,
Okay.
see, this is the thing. Country bumpkins would poop themselves, but the average adventurer or whatever.
My concern, and I can say this like to the party, my concern for such things is simply that, and kind of like low, like I guess Perrin could kind of hear it, but maybe not, is we have to remember to keep a low profile.
Oh, that won't keep you a low profile. People will be like, oh, have you seen this group? They're in the Behemoth Explorer. They're like, yeah, we saw it go that way. Everyone's gonna know what it is.
Yeah, that's my concern with a giant
Oh,
robot.
Look, it's a robot. Cool.
Mhm.
All right, fair enough.
The people who, like, voice gets even quieter. The people that are hunting me are extremely good at hunting me.
It's true. So,
Out of
so you're
character, I am disappointed that I am with such people who need to be so secretive.
Me too.
You guys suck. Stupid hunted characters. Anyway, all right.
But
Have a giant ass robot
But-
walking around. No
here,
fun.
but hang on a second. Would it be that unusual for such a robot to be with a traveling band?
No. It's a little unlikely because it's obviously a traveling show.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows that it'd be a very affluent show, but it wouldn't be.
Well, because here's my thought, is that people are going to be talking about the show anyway, just as much, if not more, than they would talk about a robot like that. So if we're traveling with this show, we're going to be dealing with that anyway of, oh, hey, did you see that show? Yeah, they went that way. It's not too different than, hey, did you see that robot? They went that way.
Mm-hmm.
However, the second we were not with the show, then it would become a problem.
No,
Okay.
that would be. I would still be accepting of that, at least in and out of character, mainly because my character would love the stored space alone.
I
The
mean, don't
mobile
get me wrong.
storage
Yeah,
space.
I think Al would be excited about it, but his cautious self would be ringing alarm bells. If, yeah, like if we got such a thing, and this is going to sound like weird to other people, but if we got such a thing, it would have to be played off as it's the troops, not technically
it's
ours.
It's the caravan.
Yes, the caravans robot. Because in that case, then it could almost go unnoticed. Because who cares if it's a little unusual? It's a caravan of a traveling troop. Everything about it's going to be a little unusual. So that's fine. Question mark. If I think Al would think about it and say, look, as long as we stick to the caravan, we can have the robot. But unfortunately,
Well,
for
you're
safety.
assuming that you can get the robot.
Yes, of course. But yeah, we're still concept talking here.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're kind of pretty much out of character, right?
Mhm.
Because, like, in character, like, Tom could be like a behemoth, but you guys need to know what it is, right?
Right.
Yeah, so.
So I guess we go back to in character now.
I'm looking for alternatives. Give me a second.
See, that's the thing. There are other robots. Like you were telling me before, Squee. Like, what's
Mhm.
a really common Explorer robot? I'm like, oh, the Titan series.
Right.
Right.
Like that's. But yeah, I'm all for robots. I just thought that it would be way too high profile. I can't imagine robots are so common that it would not be high
No.
profile.
Yeah, no, they are. You're absolutely right. They are high profile.
Would a Coalition Mark V APC be high pro?
It's coalition. That is the last thing you'd want to get into, Tom. Because since it's a
Yeah.
coalition robot, it would draw coalition troops like a magnet.
True. Well, this is out of character.
Right. But I'm saying, yes, that would probably be the most attention attractive because any coalition group would say, "Oh, look, there's a coalition robot. Huh? There's not one in this area. Let's go see why they're off course."
Ah. Fair enough. Because that's the only one that really piques my interest, other than like.
Oh, I like the Titan series, and I am damn good at piloting them. But again,
I have a picture for the Titan series.
it's I don't. Inferno showed me when it was in the main book.
Yeah.
But before that, maybe we should even find out if robots are an option. If a suit of power armor is, I'm assuming, at least several 100,000, I can't even imagine what a robot would be.
Suit of power armor is not several hundred.
Oh.
No, it's like several 10,000.
Oh.
No. Power armor is a few million.
Yeah, that's what I
Robots
thought.
are in the
Oh.
tens of millions.
Oh.
Sometimes hundreds.
Yeah, I assume robots would be extravagantly expensive.
I was talking about the power armor, but yeah, if power armor is in the millions, wow, okay.
Yeah. All right. Perrin says, I don't mean to overwhelm you. It's just, I just thought instead of working with 10, you can kind of work with more, goods, tangible things, and then, suggest that instead. That's all. Now, I know this is a whole lot, and of course this will take time to get the things appraised anyway. So if you want to take a moment to come back, we don't have to hash out a deal right this very second. Much like many things in life, taking time makes it all the more interesting. So if you want to just sit on it, sleep on it for a while, that's fine. But if you want to keep on talking, that's more than fine too. I could be here all day.
Well,
Just tickles.
the truth of the matter is, I don't think sleeping on it is going to give us knowledge about things we don't know.
Fair enough.